Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Rockwell Spot Connection with the weekly comic book roundup, or God, my weekly comic book live stream, I should say. This week we got a small haul, 6 books. There's a 7th book I picked up, but we will be doing that later on as part of. There we go. Something as part of its own video. All right, so getting into it, we'll start off with Avengers #1, making for the, I don't know, 10th, 100th, billionth, I don't know, I lost count, first issue of the Avengers. So the issue starts off kind of with a kind of neat thing. Last year, Marvel released a one-shot called Marvel Legacy, which introduced the concept of Odin's Avengers back in prehistoric times, 1 million years ago. You got Odin, you got the host of the Phoenix forces from that time, the Black Panther from that time, Iron Fist from that time, the Keeper of the Starbrand from that time, who's kind of an 8-man, looks suspicious like a certain, giant green rage monster, just not green. The Ghost Rider of the time, and the first Sorcerer Supreme of Earth himself, Agamotto, as in the Eye of Agamotto. Anyway, so they're having having a pre-battle celebration of sorts. Odin has brought Asgardian mead for the team. He gives them the Starbrand because, hey, let's give the totally not Hulk, booze. Totally not Hulk who's ever had booze. And they reference the events of Marvel Legacy, where the team fought and took down a Celestial. Admittedly, it was a Celestial who was not at 100%, but still. Anyway, Odin's just like, hey, I'm bringing this to you because we're going to die, okay? Those guys are going to kill us. That's all there is to it. He's a great... Him and Phoenix have a little... There's some romantic tension there. And then they leave the barrel of mead behind, and some Neanderthals get to it. I'm just saying that's what happens. Also, Odin is carrying Mjolnir. But yeah, shows up and the first celestial host that arrived on Earth. And Agamotto's like, yeah, we can't survive against that. Odin is not overstating things. Anyways, we cut to now on Earth. Thor, Tony Stark, and Steve Rogers have met in a bar. Sounds like it's a bad joke, doesn't it? Anyway, so they get their drinks. Thor now has short hair. Gee, doesn't Thor have short hair in the movies now too? Funny how that works out. And he's wearing these gold opera gloves? I don't know. I mean, they go up to the middle of his bicep. And they're like gold, not gold colored, but gold. And he has a hammer that looks like Mjolnir, but isn't. Anyway, so Thor and Steve want to put the band back together. Tony's like, hey, look, we've done this how many times now? Never works out. No matter what we do, we put together. We say, hey, run the Avengers, guys. Never works out. Well, Motherboard, who is the AI that Tony deals with on a regular basis, just alerts him, kind of saying, something's happening in space. And Cap's about to, say Avengers Assemble, and Tony basically says, "Hey, if you complete that sentence, you got Thor's bar tab." So that was actually kind of amusing. Anyway, we cut to 2 miles beneath the plains of South Africa, and Doctor Strange and Black Panther, modern Black Panther, are exploring an archaeological dig. The archaeologists in question have been killed. Anyway, Strange realizes that there was something ancient here. And come to realize, whatever it was 2,000 feet long. And they also find a series of holes on the wall that lead further down. Anyways, as we're just setting up our characters, of course, let's cut to East LA, where the new Robbie Reyes, the new Ghost Rider, is having some issues with his car. He's trying to figure out what's wrong. Not the car, it's not the driving part, but the demon part. Anyways, back to Manhattan. Jennifer Walters going for a run when some guy in Central Park, when some guy, leers at her and tries to pick her up, and she almost hulks out. She kind of says, has to calm herself, just, don't hulk out, just keep walking, And to further set things up, Alpha Flight Station, headquarters for Earth's Planetary Defense Agency. There's an anomaly. Probably it's the same one the Stark satellites have picked up. And Captain Marvel herself is going to investigate. And she realizes it's not an alien fleet coming through there. It's a celestial. Anyways, so Cap, Thor, and Tony are in a Quinjet. They're trying to head towards everything, but Tony kind of explains that the Quinjet they're in is not designed for space travel. But anyways, further down into the Earth, Doctor Strange and Black Panther find a it looks like the nest from Aliens. It really does. Back to East LA, something comes out of the ground, and under the ground is also lit up the same way that the nest that Strange and Black Panther found is. He goes Ghost Rider and attacks them, and then we found out that it's the same. What he's fighting are the same things that are in the nest that Strange and Black Panther are in, because more of the eggs hatch and start going. More of the eggs hatch. Back to the Hudson Bay, where there's now a dead celestial. Brought, set down by Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. Turns out there's a whole bunch of these falling out of the sky, all over the world. Egypt, London. I don't know what city that's supposed to be. It is Antarctica. There's also one in Antarctica. And we got a shot, the big three getting ready. Thor kind of remarking he should have brought up his axe. Ghost Rider fighting off the critters from underneath the earth. Strange and Black Panther fighting off the critters from underneath the earth. And Captain Marvel stopping, holding on one set down. And then finally, we get Jessica Walters looking at seeing the hand of a fallen Celestial, just laying on, and it's kind of, huh, that's a thing. Then we find out just what it is that can kill a Celestial. Actually, can kill a bunch of Celestials. The final host. It. It's like. Well, seriously, Grim Reaper, a couple, Grim Reaper Celestial, Poison Celestial, other Poison Celestial. Yeah. So they're all suited up, and then, of course, Cap gives the battle cry, Avengers Assemble. So yeah, that's Avengers number one. Stories about the Celestials are always kind of weird, and I think the closest I've ever seen to a normal Celestial story was um, the first arc of uh, Uncanny Event. The first couple arcs of Uncanny Avengers. That's the closest I've ever seen to a normal arc with Celestials, and those are still kind of weird. I'm also in the middle of having my dinner. Bear with me. Anyway, so moving on to Spider-Man number 240. I'm pretty sure this is the final issue, which really sucks because I like Miles Morales. And Champions just doesn't do it for me. So, as you'll recall from last issue, they went Spider-Man and the Champions went to Latveria to stop Spider-Man's uncle from selling an experimental helicarrier to Lucia von Bardos. And Miles got injured. Well, he's hearing beeps. He wakes up to them, in fact. Frantic. He described her whispering as frantic whispering. He wakes up. He's bandaged. He's all bandaged up. He kind of recalls what happens. Him and his Uncle Aaron got shot up by Lucian von Bardos' people. He fell off the helicarrier. Tried to save his Uncle Aaron, but didn't. But he at least managed to save himself. So, the Champions managed to save the day because that's what Champions do. Well, they started to, the Avengers, and then the Avengers showed up as well. That kind of helps too. But we don't actually see the Avengers show up. But hey, you know what? That's kind of, this isn't the Avengers Champions story. It's the Miles Morales story. So Miles talks to his parents a bit, and then Doctor comes in and explains everything. Dr. Claire Temple, no less. She's like, hey, look, I've dealt with superheroes. Don't worry. Your son's in good hands. And Tony Stark also comes in. He wants to take some tests as well, mainly because of Miles's biological makeup, basically. And then we get the Champions come to hang out with him as well. And so yeah, they basically want to make sure he's cool. And Nova, being the inconsiderate punk that he is, sorry, I don't like saying Alexander Nova. I'm all about Robbie Ryder Nova. Well, I'm all about Richard Ryder Nova. So boy, but he said, hey, they love his buddy Gold Balls, and if Miles doesn't make it, Gold Balls totally on the team. So Amadeus Show kind of chides him for it. So, but he goes back to sleep, talks to him, and turns out Uncle Aaron is still alive. He basically he gets in. He's out of trouble. He gets into trouble. And he does something to him. And says to Miles, he really just showed up to tell him one thing. Turns out Miles was right. Aaron can do better. Miles goes back to sleep. Wakes up, his best friend's there. They talk a bit, and it's like, we've missed out on so much. We haven't gotten to spend any time with each other. We're best friends. And Spider-Man has been, Spider-Man has been outside Miles' window, like all this time. Then we fast forward to him getting out of the hospital. And, well, somebody wants to talk to Miles, but we don't find out who. I think it's Cap. I'm not sure, but I think it's Cap. However, we cut to Miles' best friend in the theater, watching movies, eating popcorn and nachos, and says the end. Next, I think this is the final issue of the series because, well, Brian Michael Bendis, creator of Miles Morales and writer of Spider-Man, starts at DC next month on Superman. So looks like he's already closed up shop on Jessica Jones and the Defenders. But looks like that's him following suit on Spider-Man. I really do hope it's not, because I like Miles. I really do. Anyway, next up, we've got The Hunt for Wolverine, Weapon Lost. I like the title already, honestly. It's a nice little play on the on Weapon X. So, Hunt for Wolverine last week. Kitty Pryde discovered that Wolverine's body is gone. Of course, it was only in that statue for a little while until she pulled the body out. They gave a proper burial, but the grave is empty too. So she talked to Daredevil, said, "Hey, this is what's going on." And she told Tony Stark, "This is what's going on." Tony put together a team to look into it. Kitty also put together a team to look into things. Daredevil said, "Hey, I'm in," but he's doing it his own way. And Lady Deathstrike is also in. So we start off in Hell's Kitchen with Daredevil is basically making a case file for this. He says normally when it comes to costume stuff, he doesn't bother. I mean, of course, he uses meticulous files for cases, for court cases, but not superhero stuff. But this situation, as he puts it, this situation seemed too important not to set it down, to record it as it happened. Anyways, so first off, he arrives on a rooftop and he's waiting for going to meet him there. A flying motorcycle, which I'm just going to say it, that is cool as shit. Anyway, Frank McGee is the guy's name. Former cop. Turns out he's an Inhuman. The Terrigen cloud a few years ago that was going around Earth, it kickstarted him. So, and he can send out light from his eyes, bright, blinding light, either as a weapon or something like a camera flash. He can take snapshots of a crime scene, keep them perfectly preserved in his memory for later. Useful for someone in that line of work. McGee used to be a cop, detective first class, highly decorated. Anyway, so Daredevil fills McGee in. Like, here's what's going on, you know. And so, but for it doesn't say it's Wolverine. You know, give him kind of the okay, you know, which one? I only read this part because I liked it. But McGee asks, you know, why should I care about some missing mutant? To which Daredevil replies, because it's Wolverine. Yeah, which one? The old one? The lady? The blonde kid? The android? No, the first one, the original. Which also, I love the fact that Albert's still around, and I'm hoping that this means we'll see Albert because I haven't seen Albert. I miss Albert in LCD. Anyway, get the rest of the scoop, and we also kind of get the there's going to be other people looking for him too. Probably other people in the case and test community. So Daredevil says, "You're not the only person I'm bringing in on this." And so they go to meet Misty Knight in a bar in Brooklyn. Justin's about to get robbed, though. Misty crushes an 8-ball in front of the robbers, and they're just like, you know what? We'll go find someplace else. Bartender's like, don't worry about the 8-ball. You save me a whole lot more. Daredevil, tries to recruit her, but doesn't even get to start. And she says, hey, look, I'm retired, okay? So then McGee said, let me try, cop to cop. Misty Knight used to, as if you watched Luke Cage, you would know, used to be a cop herself. So they talk a bit. He tells her, hey, I'm a human. Like, oh, but he knows what happened to her as well. Lost her arm in a terrorist explosion. Was going to be benched, but became a PI instead. And then some of this happened. So what you want to talk about it? We don't find out what it is. Just at least not yet. At least not now. Daredevil he makes a point of not listening in. He says, saying it's hard not to. Not because it's Misty, not because he's nosy, but because his powers, his enhanced hearing, he can hear. It's that you don't want to. You glance over. You happen to be walking by someone when they're typing or something, and you see things. You can't help but read. It just kind of is there. Oh, you know you shouldn't, but yeah. And you try to solve it as quickly as you can. Anyway, so McGee and Misty talk. Misty agrees to join in. And she's got a flying car, so she says, she probably know somebody who can help. So they go to a boarded up house in New Jersey. There's a dedicated trunk line, and so it makes looking inside the house rather hard for Daredevil because, heavy electromagnetic fields affect his powers, buzz things up like fireworks blasting his brain. And I like the description of the house. 4th of July, New Year's, and Chinese New Year all in one. So they go in. It's Cypher from the New Mutants, Doug Ramsey. He's trying to decode the internet. The entire internet. And so McGee blasts his trunk line, knocking out all of it. And it looks like Cable provides for his for the X-Suits because Cypher's got a big ass energy rifle which he fires the 3, and then Daredevil throws a baton in his head, explaining that it's not his finest moment. It's not great team building. But Cypher was sick and he needed help. Cypher was sick. He needed help. Not a baton in the head. But he had an energy rifle, was out of his mind, trying to kill them all. So, baton to the head. Anyways, they go to a diner. They feed him. Cypher remarks he was starving, and they're kind of like, yeah, you were literally starving to death. And he got clicking around, lost track of time. And if things do get like that again, they'll just give him another concussion. So McGee gives him a smartphone. He decodes, collates all the information, gets a mapping app. Apparently, Logan's everywhere. But the reason why Cypher agrees to get involved in what's going on is that Logan did him more than a few favors back before he died. So he's gonna help. He's doing what he can to help Logan, or at least help find Logan. Anyway, so moving on to Astonishing X-Men number 11. So, of course, we're in the middle of the whole Proteus X storyline. A man called X, I should say. Proteus is sending out seeds, reality seeds, all over the world to make gardens similar to the one in Scotland, Edinburgh, Dublin, Copenhagen, Cairo, Philadelphia, Tokyo. And X asks him, what he's done, and Proteus says, "Isn't it obvious, X? I've won." And then X leaves with the X-Men saying, "Take him." And all the X-Men go after him. And so Psylocke, Archangel, Old Man Logan, Rogue, Bishop, Gambit, they're all going after him. And Mystique even too. Meanwhile, X and Psylocke are trying to stop the reality seeds, which means they're going to have to link. But it turns out that things are it's a lot tougher. There's a lot to deal with. So they need to. There's apparently a group of psionics, which Shadowkin was trying to use in the last story arc. So they're going to tap into that. It's the only option they've got. Meanwhile, Proteus, who's injured, trying to run away from the fight, comes across his mother, Dr. Moira McTaggart. They argue a bit. And Moira even says, "Hey, I was terrible to you. I'm sorry. What I did was wrong." They hug. And she says, he was just a child. Nothing he did was his fault. It was everyone else, never you. You deserve this. And it's Mystique, and she turned herself into metal, which of course metal being Proteus' weakness. Yeah. So they're managing to hurt him. He's managing to hurt, or at least make everyone believe they're hurting. But he's still hurting as well. So he comes to Gambit, "Hey, you want some energy? I'll go with this." And then Rogue comes in, stops and tries to absorb his power, which is a bit tough. And so Bishop comes in and basically says, "Hey, you hold him, I'll convert the energy." Which they work on. But something's gone wrong with X. And, well, what the exact thing I predicted was going to happen when I read the first part of the story arc happens. X is not the mind of Charles Xavier in the body of Phantom X. X is the Shadow King pretending to be Xavier in the body of Phantom X. and the Shadow King is back out. And next month's issue will be the finale of this arc. So we will need to see. Basically, they're going to fight the Shadow King again. But Shadow King is honestly a good villain. He's not a villain you can stop by punching. He's a villain you need a telepath for, and a powerful one. Hell, you probably need more than one. Which admittedly, one of the most powerful has just come back from the dead. So, one of. Anyways, next up, we got Weapon X number 17. Beginning the Sabretooth's in Charge arc. So, Old Man Logan's healing factor is a little burned out, and he's not healing as fast as he used to. So, he's relinquished field leadership of the Weapon X team to Sabretooth. However, it's the same power set, and it's kind of a give the guy a chance, Give the guy some rope, see what he makes out of it. If he makes a noose, hang him with it. But the story starts off in the bear with me. My Russian is non-existent. Strany Corrective Labor Camp, Siberia, Russia. Is where we start off. A couple of mutants are trying to escape from labor camp. Guards are missing. They can't find anybody. There's an open door, so they make a run for it. They start hearing the voice. They start to hear someone talking, basically. It's Omega Red who grabs them and wraps his coils around, and that's where it's at. So, the whole thing I just told you about, Old Man Logan and Sabretooth explained. Logan's healing, and Victor is in charge of the team on the field. Nobody likes this idea, which I know it is a huge shock that, two X-Men-ish and, Lady Deathstrike don't like the idea of taking orders from Sabretooth. They argue some. Creed especially singles out Warpath, and you think you could do better? Warpath says, absolutely, in every single way. It's just Sabretooth on the drop, give him 20. He's like, yeah, no. Also, I can bench press a semi. If you're handing out punishments, it should be 20,000 push-ups. It's actually really cool seeing, because Sabretooth gets up in Warpath's face, and Warpath says, you could use a mint. Anyway, so Logan's plans are going after Omega Red. And they get the Strany Corrective Labor Camp. Which explain, and the history of said camp explained. Basically, the labor camp is the Russian version of the Raft. It's a superhuman prison in Siberia. Oh, and then there's the name of the facility, or the group that runs the labor camp, Sigil, the Russian equivalent to SHIELD. Domino, probably one of the best scenes of the book. Domino asks what Sigil stands for, and Deathstrike says something strange and contrived. She says, "No, not enough letters." So, turns out that well, as they're leaving, Warpath says, "Hey, look, when he was in college, he had her housemate. He tried to keep a wolf-dog hybrid inside. Didn't walk the animal up, went stir crazy, started tearing furniture until it finally the door escaped." And he's kind of saying, "You're letting Sabretooth out to keep him from chewing the furniture, right? That's why you're doing this." Well, don't know what you're talking about, Jimmy. But does also tell him, if threatens innocent lives, or the team's lives, do what Logan does best. Anyway, it turns out that Foreigner is long time character, usually deals in murkier areas of the Marvel universe. Has been in contact with Sabretooth, and he's actually got a job for him, but but the offer is gone in 24 hours. So you see what happens there. Team drops down. And so we'll get the history of Flavor Camp. Brand new, state-of-the-art in X-gene containment technology. The current regime recently declared there are no mutants in Russia. Then rounded up so many they needed to build a whole prison just for them. So Warpath rips open the doors so they can get in, and Sabretooth pairs the team up. Warpath and Domino, and then him and Deathstrike. And Creed partially says, "Hey, I figured you two lovebirds. I want to be alone after all." Deathstrike explains that she knows he's been talking to somebody outside the team. Kind of, why are we? Creed says, "Okay, why are we talking about this rather than ratting me out?" And she just kind of says, whatever he's got planned, she wants in. And well, then we find out that Domino and Warpath are taking advantage of being put together as a part of for their little exploratory group. But there something in the air hits them. They stumble around a bit and they find prisoners in a giant room, hanging upside down and all tied up. Motherfucker. You know what? Screw it. Someone's an idiot. So, anyways, Omega Red attacks them. Like I said, someone's an idiot. Omega Red attacks the couple. Gets a little bit of life force from them. Then Sabretooth attacks. Turns out that Domino and Warpath were bait. Plain and simple. And he lets himself get coiled up by Omega Red, and she's like, "Oh, you've got a lot of life force I can drain." Deathstrike tries to him, but no. So, anyways, Omega Red frees everyone else and just takes Sabretooth to leave with Sabretooth and says, "Mutants of Russia, kill these foreigners, and I'll return your life force to you." Everyone attacks the 3 remaining members of X-Force, or Weapon X. Same difference. Meanwhile, as they're leaving the building, Sabretooth says, "Yo, team, guys, to me, my Weapon X-Men, just let the bad guy run off with your leader." And treats the necessary or wrong, truly their sacrifice. Now, what's interesting about this issue is the fact that apparently the life force that Omega Red drains retains the personality and thoughts of whoever he drained it from. And so he's apparently dealing with all that. So, yeah. That's an interesting change. Alrighty. There's some more mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, dude. All right. Last but not least this week, X-Men Gold number 27. So, last issue, at his bachelor party, Colossus was kidnapped by the sentient nano sentinel Alpha for part of its and Nance's evil plan. So we start with a flashback with Christmas morning 1 year, and Kitty kissing Peter, saying "Merry Christmas, sexy," and blushes a bit, and they talk, and cut to Vegas now. Bobby Iceman has been smacked around by Alpha. Gambit, Pyro, and Nightcrawler find him, and I think it's a quick version before we cut to the Xavier Institute for Mutant Education and Outreach in Central Park. Storm is trying to get rid of her hammer. Stormcaster. She puts it. She's trying to return it, and Rachel's trying to ask, trying to figure out why. I mean, she just got it back. And but apparently, the last time she wielded it on a regular, it almost took her mind. Apparently, Thor destroyed it, but it's back somehow. So, and she's overly cautious. I don't entirely blame her either. And she compares this situation to the fact that it seems Rachel's getting more powerful. But this is the whole, and she's trying to be tactful about it, but basically, hey, yeah, Kurt told us what's going on. Well, Kurt talks too much. We're all concerned. And Rogue comes out and says, hey, look, here's the situation. So, there's a different looking X-Jet, but I like it. It's nice and sleek. Kitty and the ladies go pick up the guys in Vegas, and they're kind of wondering where they take him though. Turns out the Savage Land. This is where we learn part of Alpha and Nance's plan. Within the body, within the blood of Colossus, of course, is history, the remnants of legacy, and the foundation for hope. So they're going, from the side that they're going to basically try and make a new legacy virus. And also get another shot of Nance's background. Colossus calls Nance a monster. He said, yeah, you're not the first person I've met like this. Alpha says, but I am, because I'm not a person. Which, I mean, sorry, you're a freaking Sentinel. And not the first sentient one either. Bastion, anyone? Anyway, so like I said, they track her down. No, they track the X. Let me begin the process of tracking her down Peter and whatnot. And Rogue and Kitty have a bit of a talk about maybe Kitty's getting cold feet. Maybe the universe is trying to give Kitty a sign. You know, Rogue is like, hey, you know, do you love him? Okay, then tell the universe to shut up. And so, yes, Rachel finds find out where Peter is. The X-Men go down to Savage Land, and it's not the worst of ideas, but at the same time, it totally is. They split up, and of course, start right off the bat. Alpha knows they're there, and then Alpha explains that once mutant kind has been eradicated, he can terminate. Because then he would be the last mutant. So, as he sees it, he has evolved or mutated, if you would. Well, it turns out that Alpha has also self-replicated a lot, and so those copies go after Storm, Iceman, and Pyro. I swear, I'm calling it right now. Iceman and Pyro are going to be the next couple that get introduced. They will probably be introduced as a couple in the wedding special. I'm calling it. Kitty attacks Nance, and but Alpha comes to Nance's defense. Turns out there's a plan. Nancy's simply there to buy time. Somehow, whatever they've done to they finished what they were going to do to Colossus from looks of things, and they've put him in a freaking bomb. Well, okay, a rocket. But so anyways, looks like next issue we're going into space. However, we have a single-page epilogue. 20 years from now, Xavier Institute. Headmistress Pride gives the X-Men a pep talk. Some of the other X-Men, it's obvious you can tell who they are. Some, it's not so obvious. But our backs are up against the wall. We're fighting a winnable war, fighting for the future, the past, the present. The fight we're fighting is not for us. It's for every mutant. We fight to ensure that the threat we face this morning is not the same threat they face tomorrow. And then she seems to lead the X-Men against a bunch of Sentinels. That's it. Single-page short called "Countdown to Extermination." I'm curious as to whether or not that's going to be a that's a tease for things to come in Gold, X-Men Gold. If so, I really like X-Men Gold. I think it is the superior X-Men book to X-Men Blue. And Red, I don't really have much of an opinion on Red, but I think Gold is better. Currently, Gold is the better of the three. That should be an interesting story. Actually, that's probably what. It's probably leading up to what is listed in Marvel previews as Classified X or X Classified. Anyway, so that's this week's comics. The one that I mentioned that we'll be doing separately later in the month. You Are Deadpool. It's a 5-issue series. It's a 5-issue miniseries coming out weekly, and it's interactive. So, like I said, it's going to be the 5 issues will be their own video by themselves, or to go up together and by Hey, excuse me. Anyway, that's all I've got for tonight. Might do a video tomorrow. I'm not sure. Definitely Friday's also coming. Maybe. Probably not. I think Fridays are going to be my day off, and Saturday we'll be back up. We'll definitely have something to put up. So, anyways, that's all I got for tonight. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the video. You can follow me on Twitter, like my page on Facebook, and donate to my Patreon. So at least all three are in the description box down below. Anyways, this is Rock Block saying, live long and rock hard.